Hey, what's up soldiers? My name is Greg FPS, the Zombies Extraordinaire, and welcome to the most detailed Easter egg guide for the Shadowed Throne in Call of Duty World War II Zombies. Now, if you guys are new around here and you haven't seen any Easter egg guides, make sure you guys do subscribe. I always stay up to date with the latest and greatest zombies, and if you guys do end up subscribing, let me know down below. And also, if there are any errors in this video, which I don't expect there to be any, I'll make sure to update the description for you guys, as well as there's going to be timestamps for all the steps in the description if you just need to skip to one part because you're stuck on a single step. So anyways guys, without further ado, let's jump right into the Easter egg guide. Overall, I love this map, so let's jump into it. So the first thing you need to do is get the serial number that is located in the top left hand corner on the radio out on Main Street in the main open area. In my game it was TX1, so we're going to use this as a reference point for the sake of this tutorial. So the next thing you need to do is make your way over to the church. Now you can either go through the stage cinema area, or you can go through the museum like I did. So I went a little bit fast, but you're going to go up to this map and there's going to be a red pin on a single location. This one in my game was Dame Spreewald, and this is the location that you're reaching the Germans at with the radio. So what you do is go over to the left of that, and Dame Spreewald, remember TX1, you need to get 74.3 for TX and 1 which is 90. So those are the two different coordinates or frequencies that you're going to be entering into the radio. Now how you're going to actually set this is you press square on it and you're going to use your analog sticks to spin them. You can do one at a time, or if you're ambidextrous you can do both of them at the same time. It actually doesn't really matter, but what we're going to be doing is reaching Mikial, I believe is how you pronounce his name. Now I'm not Russian and I'm also not German and I don't speak any of those languages, so there are going to be some big pronunciation problems in this video, so just keep that in mind, but I'm going to roll with it anyways. So basically you contact him and he's going to implore you to move the huge airship that is in the sky so that he can get further into killing the Nazis or something like that. I'm not exactly sure on the whole storyline thing, but he basically wants you to move the airship and kind of distract it and bring it towards you. So this is the one that Schraub is actually piloting. So what you need to do is shoot some flares so that Schraub ends up coming towards us. So we are going to go up to the flares and you can see a dead soldier with a flare right there. Now what you need to do is either shoot the lock that is located on the box next to him, or you can just melee it, and then you melee again, and what it's going to do is shoot flares into the sky, and that is going to cause Schraub to come over with the huge massive Zeppelin. And what he's going to do is basically plant down 4 anchors. 3 of them are located on the map and 1 of them is located like in the main area right outside the map, which we're going to end up doing later. So once you do this, Schraub is going to start shooting some Greiz bolts at zombies, regular zombies. Now the way to avoid this is by saving either a pest zombie, the fast ones, or by shooting off a zombie's arm. And you can like save a zombie if you want to save a zombie at the end of the round if you save one of those. But as you can see, this zombie got shot by the Geist bolt. So what you have to do is melee the zombie that is on fire. It doesn't have to be the first one, but it's easier if you do. So as you can see, we got the Greiz bolt. Now this is one of the parts for the wonder weapon, which is called the Wonder Bus. So the other piece that you need is a battery. So the first location can be here in the theater and it can be sitting on this box right here. Now there's 2 other locations, which is going to be in the museum, both of those locations. The first one is straight ahead as you walk into the museum and it's going to be sitting on a box right next to where you buy shields, and if it's not located there, that's totally fine. You keep going up the stairs, and this one is towards the melee perk, and it's going to be sitting to the right hand side of that perk, also on a box next to a dead guy. So those are the different part locations for the wonder weapon. So let's go build this thing. Alright guys, so we're going to go into the bottom floor of the apartments. Now the apartments are right here. We're going to pass the dead lady on her bed. We're going to take a right, bear to the right, past the elevator, and go down the stairs. Now there's a little box right next to the doors that you place the battery in for the wonder weapon. You go on the other side, take the battery out, and you place the 2 different parts that you got right on the build table, and you get the Wonder Bus wonder weapon. Now you're going to shoot the same fuse box with the right trigger, and it's going to open the door and allow you to leave. So once you do that, there are 3 anchors located around the map that you need to shoot with the Wonderbus. Now this first one in front of the church, you can just kill zombies next to it, or you can shoot it with the Wonderbus. I think shooting it is much easier, so I would highly recommend that you just do that. And once it turns yellow, then you are done. Now what I recommend is having someone on your team run free fire, and they can actually use their free fire ability to actually shoot these completely, because you can shoot the Wonderbus with free fire and it makes it so much easier. You can fill up like all 3 of them if you have a double charge, which is super nice. So the next one here is in the museum. It turned yellow, so that one's done. And the last and final one is going to be located above spawn, and this is like right above the long hallway, which I'm going to show you right here. I'm on the bottom level. This is the long hallway, and it's like right above that. So you're going to have to shoot all 3 of those until they turn yellow. There's one more that we're going to shoot towards the end of the Easter egg, which is really nice, but we'll get to that point later on in the video. So the next thing you need to do is go back to the room where you built the Wonderbus, and there's a cash register. You shoot it with the right trigger and the cash register is going to open, and underneath it is a picture of a little girl with coordinates on it. In my game, I ended up getting 21-4, and you're going to need to enter those frequencies into the radio. And what this is going to do is cause the smuggler that is actually underground to contact you via radio. So I really like the radio. I like how there's so many different frequencies. So as you can see here, I'm going to set it to 21 and 4. It's going to turn green, and then it's going to say that we contacted the smuggler. Now, what you need to do next is give the smuggler a weapon. So the weapons that I know work are the sawed-off shotgun, the MP40, the WAF-28, the MG42, the FG42, and the Kar-98. Now basically you need to give him a certain type of weapon. So it could be a shotgun, a pistol, an assault rifle, an LMG, a submachine gun. It's going to be one of those. So once you find the different weapons that work, it makes it really easy. But the ones I listed off are, they've worked for me. And I buy the sawed-off shotgun first every single game because it's only 500 points and you can buy it in spawn. So here we are behind the theater, and there's a little plate that says gas on it, and what you have to do is actually knife this plate. So as you can see, we're going to knife it, and we're going to give him the sawed-off shotgun, but after he's done talking, because there are zombies blocking the outside of the door. So he needs to be able to open the door and kill them so he can get through. So we're going to give him the sawed-off shotgun, and as an example, the sawed-off shotgun was not correct. So we said, I don't have the right ammunition for this weapon. So the next weapon that I usually buy is the MP40, because this one seems to work if the shotgun doesn't work most of the time. So I'm going to go right back there with the MP40. Now you're going to have to obviously spend some points to get certain weapons, but it's not usually that big of an issue. So we're going to give him the MP40, and in this game, he ended up actually getting the MP40 and keeping it. So as you can see here, we're going to go right up to it, give him the MP40, and then we're going to get the pop-up on screen that we armed the smuggler. And he says, wonderful, I'll see how far we can get. So I wanted to show you guys another example of me giving him the sawed-off shotgun and actually show that it does work. So we're going to go right back to the same thing. This is in a separate game. We're going to open up the gas thing, and I'm going to give him the sawed-off shotgun right after he finishes his quote, because you want to make sure you do that. Otherwise, it may not work. And if you give him a melee weapon, it's going to glitch out the game and it's not going to work. So as you saw, I gave him the sawed-off shotgun and we armed the smuggler. So now you have to wait 2 more rounds, and in the main street area, there's another plate. So you need to wait 2 full rounds. You have to drop points inside for the smuggler. Basically, you need to pay him. So as you can see here, he takes anywhere from like 1,000 to 1,500 points. It varies depending on the game. So as you can see here, we're paying him. We're just dropping points in there using the right on the D-pad, and it just drops points in 250 increments. So we paid the smuggler. Now we're going to go all the way back down next to the cash register where we actually built the Wonderbus, and there is going to be a door there, and you need to pull out a melee weapon and actually melee the door. Now eventually you're going to hear 3 loud knocks, and it does take about 30 seconds to a minute to actually recognize it and get the knock. So just keep that in mind. Just keep meleeing it, and eventually you'll hear them. And the knocks are pretty loud, so it's really hard to miss. And eventually what's going to end up happening is one of the huge whistling zombies is directly behind the door, and the door is just gonna fall over. Now in this game I had the rip saw, so I just like wrecked him really quick in 2 shots, which was awesome. So here's the smuggler. He's dead, but he has a golden bat that is right next to it. So you're gonna grab the bat and you actually make your way all the way over next to the church, and there's a little like area to place this bat. So as you can see, we're just going super fast because it just makes way more sense. Now the bat is actually really good, but the like when you swing it, it's kind of weird. So I wouldn't really recommend using this weapon that much as a melee weapon, just because it's not really that reliable or as reliable as some of the other ones. So we're gonna go through the church right here, and as you can see, there's a location to place the bat. So you just place it in, and that is the whole smuggler challenge. So now we're gonna go on to the next set of challenges for another weapon. Alright guys, so the next weapon we're getting is going to be the Dancer's Dagger. This is the dead lady. So the first thing you need to do is go next to where the dead lady is in the bed, and there's a picture on the wall. All you have to do is grab the dancer's painting, and then what you have to do is make your way over to the theater where she performed. Now this part I think is really cool, but this is also probably one of the more difficult parts of the Easter egg, just because it's a little bit frustrating. This step took a very long time for everyone to find. So what you do is there's a projector, and there's actually a film reel right up there. So what you have to do is shoot it down, and you'll hear like a tin noise when you shoot it off, and then it lands in the rubble to the right hand side. You can just spam square and eventually you'll grab it, and you place it on the projector. The painting's going to go there as well. Then you pull out your wonder bus and shoot it, and you power the projector. Now as you can see here, there's a map, and this is actually a layout of the entire map, and there's 9 different locations, and each one is going to have a green light in 4 out of the 9 locations every game. So I'm going to run through all of the different locations. These are where the clowns are. So this one back here is the theater. There's the clown right there. And then we're going to go to the right church, and you can go back and pause if you lose place where to go. This is the double tap one. And then we're going to go to left church, which is like on the entranceway to the church from the museum. It's right there. Then we're going to go into the museum next, and this one is on a chandelier. This is one of the harder ones to see, I would say. And we're just going to go through. You just go towards these stairs, and then you go up and look, and it's like hanging in the chandelier. So now we're going to go out here to the main street area near the original radio, and there's one sitting like right in the puddle. So that is the main street trap area. Now we're going to go down here, and this is the Pack-a-Punch like alley. And this one's hidden under rubble. It's really hard to see. So just get kills like in this general location, and you'll fill it up. And then we're going to go to the next place, which is in the Wonder Weapon room, which is going to be directly over here inside of the Wonder Weapon room, right near the door we opened. And it's going to be right there. And last but not least, there's one in the elevator right next to the room where the dead lady is sleeping. So it's right there. So those are all the different 9 locations for the clown. Now what you have to do is get kills in 4 different areas that have a green light. So in my game, the first place was left of church, and I ended up getting 8 zombie souls, and you'll know it's done when you hear this. Okay, so you need to count exactly how many kills you get until it's done. So the next location that I got was right church, which is literally right outside the room right here in the theater. So all you have to do is get kills here. Once again, I'm going to go super fast, and ended up getting 7 kills in this location. The round ended, so it did take a little while. Now it's a really good idea to get this as early as possible, because the dagger that you end up getting is so good. So as you can see there, we finished that one. The next one is going to be located over in the Wonder Weapon room. So we're going to speed it up yet again and run over there And in the wonder weapon room, we ended up getting 4 kills. So once again, make sure you have like a pen and paper and just write it down so you don't forget. It just makes your life so much easier. So I ended up getting 4 kills. I killed a couple extra ones just to be sure, and that was it. And then last but not least, we ended up getting one more location, which was on the main street in the trap puddle, and we ended up getting 6 kills in Main Street. So once you are done, then you're gonna have to enter the combination inside of the safe, or into the safe lock. Now this is a little bit complicated, and this is probably one of the harder things because the lock is a little fidgety. So here we go, it's a lock. What you want to do is press square on it and you're going to lock onto it. Now you only use your left stick to spin it. So what you need to do is just spin it a few times to completely reset it. And if you mess up, spin it a few more times going clockwise to reset it. So as you can see here, I'm just spinning it. So the first amount of zombies that I killed was 8. So I'm going to stop on 8 going clockwise. And then I'm going to go to the right and I'm going to go to 7, which was my next number, all the way back around. Then I'm going to go to 4 going to the left, and then back to 6 going to the right. And I'm done. So I press square again, and boom, I ended up opening the lock on the first try. This may take a few times, but there's a soldier's head in there, and you grab the knife right there. Found the dancer's dagger. So the really cool thing about this one is if you hold your left trigger and you press your right trigger, you end up meleeing a zombie. If you have full health and you melee a zombie, you get a shield. So this is like by far the best thing. Always recommend bringing this to the boss fight because it is so good. And you'll see me use it later when we get into the boss fight in this tutorial. But all you have to do is place it right next to the bat. Now this is a separate game from the same game with the bat, so I'm just gonna place it right here in the middle. That's why the bat's not there yet, but don't worry, we'll get to the next. All right, guys, so the next step is going to be getting the axe. There are radio frequencies in 5 different locations. The first one can be here inside of the elevator next to the dead lady. Now, there are 5 total known locations right now. If any more are found, I will put them in the description as an update. So make sure you guys check back if you're watching this at a later date. There may be more locations. The next one's on this pillar right here. This one was literally just found, so it's kind of hard to see. The next one can be over here, and there's a bunch of bullet holes because I had to re-record this because I didn't know that one of the locations was found until after. So I'm re-recording it for you guys, and I had to shoot so I remembered exactly where they were. The next one is over here behind this purple dress. This one was just found as well. It's on the box. You can see when I shoot the muzzle flash. And the last and final one is one that a lot of people put in their guides, and it seems like the only one pretty much, and this one is on the dresser right here. So those are the 5 different locations. I'm going to show you guys a shortcut in a minute, but now I'm going to show you how to actually solve it. So what you do, I got 20.3 and 66.8. I'm going to enter those into the radio, and what it's going to do is play some Morse code. Now don't worry guys, there is a shortcut, but I wanted to show you how to actually solve it really quick. So this is Morse code. All right, so looking at the chart that I just put on screen, you have numbers 0 through 9, and a dot and a dash, they sound different. So it's really easy to solve exactly what it is when you are using this. So keep that in mind when you guys try it. But trust me, we can skip all this. So now there is a magnifying glass on a bench that is located within the theater. Now you're going to grab the magnifying glass, and what this is going to do is place it on the map where we got the original frequency for the radio. So as you can see here, it's located right up here. And what you want to do is change it. So in my game, I ended up getting 11.8. So I moved it over 8 and then down 11, and I ended up opening up the chest and getting the golden bull. So as you can see, you disconnect from it by pressing R3, and boom, I got the golden bull right here. Well, what I'm going to do now is show you guys a complete shortcut, so you can just go right to getting the bowl. You don't have to find the frequency, and you also don't need to actually enter it into the radio. So all you have to do is grab the magnifying glass like we did before, and it's going to place it on the map. So as you guys can see here, and what you do is enter one of these 5 combinations, and you guys will get it right away. So I worked out the numbers. These are all of the possible numbers that you can get from the 5 locations. So it's going to be one of these. So if you have like a friend hold a zombie, you can enter these and try them, and eventually it will unlock the bowl. So as you can see here, guys, I ended up entering one right away, and I ended up getting it like right away. I didn't even have to do the radio at all whatsoever, and the door opened and I got the golden bowl. So really easy to do, and it's a really good shortcut. So once you get the golden bowl, you are going to make your way over to the museum, and you go all the way up top and you place it on the scale right here. So once you do that, this is where things start to get a little bit more difficult, and you need a sizzler zombie, the fire zombies. And what you have to do is kill a fire zombie right next to one of the shield areas. So as you can see here, guys, I killed a normal zombie, and its head ended up getting placed right there. Then one of the zombies turned into a sizzler, so I killed it right in front of the shields, and the sizzler head went there. Now you need the sizzler head, so you go up to it, you press square. As you can see here, I'm going to press square. It does cost the shield amount, so if you use a lot of shields in your game, it's going to cost a lot. And you get the sizzler head and you bring it up to the scale where you placed the golden bowl earlier. Now you just place it right there, and what you have to do is get kills. So all you have to do is get, I believe it's 12 to 15 kills. I believe it's 15. Not 100% sure on that. It's between 10 and 15, something around there. And you just have to get a bunch of kills and fill it with souls basically, and it's really easy. Once you're done, then the drawer is going to open up underneath it, and you can grab the golden axe. So this is the Nazi axe. So all you have to do is run over to the normal place where you place everything from before, and you just place it right next to the the knife that we got before, and also the bat. So as you guys can see here, we put the axe there. Now I'm gonna roll another clip where I ended up placing the bat in that location. So that is all 3 of the different weapons that need to be placed there. So you have the bat, you have the little knife, and you also have the axe. So once you do that, guys, there is a set combination of kills that you actually need to get at each of these locations. You need to kill 20 regular zombies and collect their souls, and once you do that, you have to kill 10 of the sizzler fire zombies, and then once you're done that, you have to kill 10 pest zombies. So this can be completed in that exact order. It has to be that order. If you don't do it in that order, it will not work. So it does take a few rounds to do. And when you're doing the sizzler zombies, I recommend running trains around this area, but everyone in a different spot. So once you do that, you open up the hidden courtyard, which is down here where we have the statue of Barbarossa. So this is definitely something that is fairly hard to get to, but once you figure it out, it's easy. So now we're going to shoot the last and final of the anchors with our wonder bus, and this one was pretty hard to figure out. I'm not gonna lie, a lot of people didn't even know how to open up the doors, so I'm really glad that we ended up finding it. So great job to everyone in the community, and we lowered the drop pod, which we are going to get into later on. But now let's talk about the statue step down here. Alright guys, so there's actually a website that you can use for the statues to rotate them that was made by Javino. He's an old school zombies guy that's been in the community for a really long time, so I will link that down below. How the website works is you set the positions of which way each of the statues is facing, and as soon as you go down to the right hand side, you need to go in a counterclockwise rotation around the room, and you need to change the statues. So what you do is you click click which way each statue is facing, you click solve, and then it will come up with the solution of exactly which ones you need to turn. You can shoot them or you can melee them. It doesn't really matter, but you just have to do it continuously until they're all in the correct locations. And once you do it correctly, you're actually going to get a crow, and there are 4 total crows that you need to get. And I'm just going to play some music while I solve all of these. If you want to skip ahead, it's fine. You can skip right ahead to 26 minutes if you don't want to watch me solve all of these really quick. All right, guys, so now you are going to be placing the crows in the correct placement right around the Barbarossa statue. Now, this is probably one of the more difficult ones, but I'm going to show you guys exactly what you do. So the one, like, all you really have to do is put the crows exactly where I put them here. So I'm just going to go around in a rotating order. Just make sure you guys follow this. And if you place the correct crow in each spot correctly, then you will get it correct. If you do it wrong, it's going to have a red light instead of a green light, and the crows are going to go on the ground around the statue, so you have to pick them up and place them again. So once you do that, guys, I already grabbed Barbarossa's blade, which is right there. Now you're going to go up the stairs, and in order to get out, you have to place Barbarossa's blade right here, and what it's going to do is open up the door. So there you go, guys. We are almost ready to go into the boss fight. All right, guys. So now we actually have to go in the Zeppelin. And what you do is go in the drop pod that is going to be located right near the radio. And everyone has to shoot their Wonder Bus at the top of it completely. So as long as everyone goes from 100 to 0, you will raise all the way up and board the Zeppelin, which is super, super cool. This is like my favorite part about this map. So now it's going to start a brand new round. So you have to go through the entire round just killing zombies. It's pretty straightforward, and you want to have one person on your team hold a zombie. If you're playing solo, it's obviously a little bit more difficult because you have to move the zombies around and be really, really cautious. But as long as you're playing co-op, you can just have one person hold a zombie. And now you're going to play some connect the dots. So this is actually a really, really easy step, and it's a little bit complicated at first if you don't understand it. So as you can see on this little panel, there is green wire, and what you have to do is basically move the light across the green wire and go to the next spot. So as you can see, I'm just moving it over, and then we're going to go as far as we possibly can. And what that's going to do is actually open up the gate that is located right up here. So you're going to connect that. Then the next thing is you go over to the next one, which is going to be located over here. And you're going to move this as far as you possibly can. So I'm going to move it over, and I'm also going to go upward. And I end up doing the top first. I think doing the bottom first is probably the best idea, just because you can cover the most ground if you do it the other way. But I decided to do it from the top to the bottom just because it made more sense at the time. And this is what I was told to do by my friends that had already done this. So I would recommend doing it the other way, going to the right hand side first and then doing the left hand side. But this is what they told me to do. So now once you open that gate, you have to actually backtrack the green wire so that you can go to the other side, because only certain control panels control certain parts of the green wire, if that makes sense. So it's like the purple light, you have to move to certain locations in order to activate the next console to be able to like open up another area. So it is a little bit complicated at first, but once you get the hang of it, it's really straightforward and simple. So now we're gonna backtrack, and it's kind of like a G shape for Greg FPS, obviously. No, I'm just kidding, but you just have to backtrack completely, and I'm gonna move it there, and then we have to open up the gate and go to this one over here, and it's gonna automatically open up the gate for you, so you really don't have to worry about it. So this one was causing me a little bit of trouble because I went all the way up, but that last part where it goes inward is on the other control panel on the complete other side of the room, which I didn't realize, and I should have, because it's red wire, so I obviously couldn't move it. I didn't really understand it, to be honest, at first, but once you get the hang of it and do it a couple times, it's so much easier. So as you can see, I'm going to go inward, and boom, once we're done that, you are actually going to see Dr. Schraub get wrecked by some zombies. So this is probably one of my favorite parts about the map, where you just get the huge shock right here, and all the zombies get released from the things holding them, and he just gets absolutely destroyed. I think he will return in a later map, but we'll have to wait and see. So without further ado, let's get into the boss fight. All right, guys, so let's talk the boss fight. Now, there are a few things I want to recommend before I actually talk about how you do the boss fight. So you want to get an MP40 Pack-a-Punch, because there's an MP40 wall buy on the Zeppelin. So this is definitely something you want to buy. So if you need ammo, you can just buy it. Now, the only thing that sucks about it is you don't really get that much ammo. So if you do have the ammo consumable, I would run that just to make it easier on your team. Now, you also want to use Uberladen, which basically fills up your special meter. And I like to use Shell Shock because it stuns all the zombies as well as the boss, and you can deal a lot of damage to the zombies and the boss that way, and it makes it so much easier. So I would highly recommend that. Another thing you want to get is, as far as perks go, is you want to get quick revive, but you want to buy that perk last so that you can revive your teammates fast in the boss fight if they go down. Now, the first perk I would recommend buying is probably Speed Cola, just because if you can't reload as fast and you lose that perk by going down, it's not that big of a deal. Now, also, you want to buy Stamina Up next, so that you can still move fairly fast, but if you go down and lose it, it's not that big of a deal. Then Double Tap, because Double Tap is obviously super important. So if you go down, hopefully you won't lose Double Tap. And then last but not least, you want to buy Quick Revive, because you lose perks in the opposite order. So like, for example, buying Speed Cola first, you'll lose that one first. So always want to save the best perks for last to lose. Now, once you do that, guys, I would also recommend that if you are able to, that back area that I opened up with the gate where Schraub dies, you want to keep that open completely if possible, so you can just keep running in a circle there, and it just makes it a lot more easy in general, I think. Now, I did it a different way in the gameplay you guys are watching, where basically I had two people in two of the bigger areas, and it made a lot of sense, but sometimes we all had to go in one area to shoot at the boss. So now let's get into the actual boss fight. So I'm not even going to pronounce this guy's name right, so I'm just going to call him the City Protector, and it's not anything to do with the Civil Protector that we have on Shadows of Evil, but he's just a boss, and basically how it works is he has three different stages. The first one is the only way to damage him is when he is charging, and you can use a regular weapon for this, and the only way to notice that he is charging is his chest and back will glow, and he'll like go back a little bit, kind of like he's stretching outward, and that is the only time you can shoot him. and you'll hear like a mechanical noise once that stage is done. The next stage is the boss can only be damaged while he is shooting the Geist bolts out. So what he does is he creates the fire zombies, and the only way to actually hurt him is when he is shooting those bolts out. Now this one doesn't really give you that much time to shoot him, and since you have the fire zombies coming at you, it can definitely be challenging, but this one is fairly quick. And once again, when you hear the mechanical noises like breaking a little bit, then you know you are on to the third and final stage. And the last stage, you're only able to use the Wonder Bus. And what he's going to do is enter a state where he releases red smoke, and it's like a storm with electricity. So you don't want to be near him at all. And you're going to shoot him with the Wonder Bus using the Geistcraft ability on the right trigger. And you're going to shoot him as much as you possibly can. And you're going to damage him with the Wonder Bus. And eventually he's going to fall over and die. And then you have completed the boss fight. If you guys have any questions about the boss fight or any of the previous steps that I mentioned in this video, just hit me up on Twitter at GregFPS. So once you actually kill him and defeat him, then you go back to the anchor that you came up on. You're going to fall all the way down back to the main square, and the ending cutscene is going to play, and you've completed the Easter egg. So congratulations. If this video did help you out, make sure to drop a like, guys, and subscribe if you're new to the channel. Make sure to let me know down below in the comment section. Once again, if you have any questions, just hit me up on Twitter at GregFPS. My name is GregFPS, the Zombies Extraordinaire, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.
I'm out too. Here.
We have to move now. Clear me a path, folks. This is going to be a bumpy ride.